Hey y'all, welcome to today's video. I'm going to sit down and answer some questions for you today. Y'all had some really good questions. I've been keeping up with them, some of the most asked questions over the last few months. I put a community post out asking if you had any questions, and y'all had some good ones, and I'm going to answer those for you. I enjoy watching Q&As because it helps me get to know the people that I enjoy watching and following and learning from. And so I can understand why y'all enjoy them, and I'm excited to do this one for you today. Y'all are probably going to hear Huddy going by. He is riding their new electric dirt bike. They are loving that thing. So a while back we got a full-size electric bike. I showed that to you. And the boys wanted something that was more their size. Hiboy had reached out and asked if they could send the kids an electric dirt bike. So they sent that to them, and I knew that they would enjoy it, but y'all, I didn't realize they would enjoy it as much as they have. They ride that thing so much. They've got paths here around the house and over around Mama's. They will charge it and ride it till it's dead, and charge it and ride it till it's dead. It charges pretty fast. It does hold a charge for a while. Even on the highest speed, it has 3 different speed settings. And y'all know they're cranking it all the way up to 3 and riding it around. Like I said, I knew they would love it, but I didn't know they would love it as much as they have. It tickles me to see them enjoying it and out riding it. It has the 3 different speed settings. It has a horn, a light. It's been really good quality. They've taken it through every mud puddle and all over the place, and it's doing great for them. I highly recommend it. Like I said, I knew they would enjoy it, but I didn't know they would enjoy it this much. They are loving it. So thank you again to Hiboy for sending that to them. I know that they're very thankful for it, and they are putting it to good use. I'll make sure that there's a link down in the description box so y'all can go check it out. Maybe you've got some little ones. I believe it's rated for, or suggested for, up to 140 pounds. It's a small, it's the perfect size for Huddy. Easton's getting a little bit tall for it, but he still rides it around. It's a great size for that age range. And so if you got a little one that's, you know, around that same age and has those same interests, definitely go check it out because it's really good quality. My kids are really enjoying it. So you'll probably hear him going by. On to the questions, and let me tell you a little bit about my series of unfortunate events, and it will, as I answer the first question, I can tell you about that. But I get asked pretty often what I film with, and I, for the most part, use my phone, which is a Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus. I believe Justin's the techie person around here. And about a year ago, y'all, so when I first started YouTube, I was filming on this cheap $30, bought it at Walmart phone. And as Justin saw how much time and effort I was putting into it, the commitment I had to it, he bought me a nice phone, and so I could make better quality videos. And then about a year ago, my phone, it got a crack in the screen. I don't know how it happened, but everything still worked, so I kept on using it. And we saved up the money. Well, okay, so about 3 or 4 months ago, it started giving me problems. I knew it would eventually. The bottom half of the screen started to go white. You couldn't figure out where the buttons were. The screen, though, was the only problem it had. And so we saved up the money, took it and got the screen replaced on it. And after they worked on the screen, one thing after another started going wrong with that phone, to the point that now it's completely unusable. I'm filming on Justin's phone right now. We bought me a new phone. It'll be here later this week, but it's just, it's been a little frustrating. It's been very frustrating, especially since when we took it and paid to have the screen replaced. That was the only thing that was wrong with it. And then once they worked on it, it was one thing after another, to the point that it's now completely unusable. And the new phone that I'll have, that I'll be filming from, is an S24 Ultra. Goodness gracious. And a lot of the questions, this was another thing I wanted to point out, one reason why I wanted to share that with you. when I was writing down the questions, I was keeping a lot of that on my phone. I lost everything that was on that phone. Everything. And so if I miss a question, it's not on purpose. I went back and tried to find all of them and what I could remember. But if I miss one of your questions, it's not on purpose. Ask it again in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer it in an upcoming video. But I did lose where I had saved all of that. All right, let's keep on going with the questions. And y'all, I'm a talker, so I'm going to try to not tax your patience. And I could sit here and talk for like 2 hours probably answering these questions. I don't know if that's what y'all want. So I'm going to try to be to the point. And we can swat at flies together because it's summer in the south. And I can kind of feel the rain coming. And the flies are stirred up. So anyway, here we go. Do I have any advice on like gray hair advice or products to use for the texture of gray hair? I did a video a while back that was a recap, I guess, of the last year going natural with my hair, and I'll link that down in the description box. What I've been using, I use Aussie shampoo. It's one of the moisture shampoos, and then I use the 3 Minute Miracle, the Aussie 3 Minute Miracle deep conditioner, and I wash my hair like twice a week maybe. And that's been working good for me. And I also have a hair oil that I got. Woo! That wasn't a fly. What was that? A yellow jacket? Wasp? I don't know. I didn't see it. Did y'all see it? Oil that I got. Woo! I also have a hair oil that I got at TJ Maxx a while back. I'll put a picture up or link it for you. And if my gray hair texture is just feeling really wiry, I'll use a little bit of that hair oil, but I don't have to do that as much since I've been using that Aussie shampoo. Anybody else that has any advice or good products for use on gray hair, I'd love to hear that down in the comments. What denomination are we? Someone even asked specifically if we were Pentecostal. No, we're not Pentecostal. We attend and are members of a Baptist church. But to me, above a denomination is the fact that I am a follower of Jesus Christ. I don't want the title of a denomination to be the most important thing. Being a believer of Jesus Christ, a follower of Jesus Christ, and a believer in Him dying on a cross for our salvation is what's most important. Are we going to get a dog to protect our chickens? So Justin is highly allergic to dogs. He used to have hunting dogs. I had beagles growing up. He even worked in a vet's office for years. That's been years ago though. The older he's gotten, he seems to have developed pretty severe allergy to dogs. So I'm, never say never. I'm not going to say never, but I don't foresee us getting a dog. We did get our geese with hopes that they'll be good protectors for our chickens though. Do we have enough room for a pig or a cow? So I am really hopeful, and y'all, like I said, I'm using Justin's phone, so I am hoping that I have some. Whoa, that got way too dark. I hope I'm having decent success in these settings. Bear with me. We have enough room for a pig, I believe, and it's my hopes and in the plans to maybe next spring have a couple of pigs that we can grow out for meat for the freezer. We have a space back at the back of the property that we think we can make work well for them. Now, as far as a cow, I've seen people have cows, a milk cow, on just a few acres. We have 1 acre here that we do most on, but we are next door to my mom and stepdad who have a few acres that we do a few things with them on. I've seen people have a cow and make it work on just a few acres, but logistically that's a lot. And I don't think that that's the best thing for us. So I do have someone local that I can get raw cow's milk from. My sister, she has, still fiddling with this light, y'all, or with the lighting. My sister, they have been able to purchase a larger farm, and I know one of her hopes is to have a milk cow, so maybe I can get milk from her. We don't really plan to have a cow here, but Pigs can be doable. Where do you get the cute headbands? I would say most, if not all, of the headbands I've been wearing lately have come from Temu. They're a good price. They're really soft. They stay on my head well. So that's where those have been coming from. If you could subscribe and follow just one YouTube channel, who would it be? That is a tough one, because I love following all of my friends on YouTube. YouTube has been a beautiful way for me to keep up, to one, make friends, and to keep up with what they've got going on and follow their family. It would be devastating if I couldn't do that. But if I had to follow one for the sake of just, I guess, practical knowledge that I can apply to the way I live, it would be Jess at Roots and Refuge. And I think, like I said, I think that's just because she shares information that I can apply practically to the way that I live and the things that we do. And I just get a lot of knowledge from her, as well as enjoy watching her, following along with her. But I learn a lot from her. That would be tough though, just following one. How did Justin and I meet? We were high school sweethearts. Well, I was in middle school when we started dating. I was not old enough to date. He just came over to my house and went to church with us. But that's how we met. The ever so popular, do we plan to have more children? I am very content with the family that God has blessed us with. If God said, here's another child, well, that would be a huge blessing as well. But I am very content in what He has given me. Justin and I have, and I've talked about it here and there. Maybe I'll share more about it. I don't know. But Justin and I have walked a pretty tough road when it comes to growing our family. And I know some people would look at us and go, you've got 5 children. What are you talking about? But we've experienced loss. We've experienced secondary infertility. It's been quite the road and the journey to growing our family, and God has blessed us tremendously. So I am happy and I am content if this is the family that God has for us. And if we were to have another, well, that would be a blessing as well. How do we handle conflict between the kids? Now, I don't think that my kids really fuss and fight a whole lot. They have disagreements. They get on each other's nerves sometimes. But I don't feel like they really fight a whole lot. And I think that's because we've given them the tools to work it out. When they would have disagreements, we wouldn't just, y'all stop fighting. I mean, I guess that would happen every once in a while that we would say that, but it wouldn't just be y'all quit fighting or y'all go to your rooms, just sweep it under the rug, so to speak. We would address it and have them talk it out. Let's figure this out. And giving them those tools to work through it. Now they have those tools to be able to work through it. So while they do have some fusses and get on each other's nerves sometimes, they don't really fight a whole lot. And again, I think that's because we've given them the tools they need to be able to talk it out and work it out. What do you do to decompress after a busy day or when you're overstimulated? I guess my thing that I like to do, or that I do for myself, is I'll just go sit in the bathtub for a while. Justin, I'll tell him, hey, is it all right with you if I just go get in the bathtub for a little while? And he'll watch the kids, and that's what I do. Or maybe when the kids are all in bed, I'll just go get in the bathtub, sit there for a little while at peace and quiet. It's funny if the kids are awake, and Justin does a good job of, I leave Mama alone for a little while, but it's funny because I'll see little hands sticking under the door, and it's sweet. I just want to be in there with Mama. And also something else that I do that I enjoy is Justin and I, we try to keep like a TV show that we like to watch together. And after the kids are all in bed, we might sit down and just in the quiet, sit there together and watch a TV show or something like that. Do we still plan on getting goats? When we moved here, that was one of the first things that I talked about wanting, and I do still want goats. Over time, my mindset has shifted a little bit and what I think the role of goats on our homestead would be. When we first moved in, my plan was to build a shelter for them and fence in an area for them back in the back. And then as we talked about it, I really got to thinking about what would be the smartest thing to do. So my mom and stepdad, they have an old shed or barn over here that they're in the process of tearing down, and they're going to build a new one. And that's quite the process, y'all, but things are happening. It's a lot of work. They've put a lot of work into it so far, but that's coming down, and they're going to build a new barn there. And they've had goats before, and I know Mama's excited about having goats too. So we decided to wait so that once that's finished, maybe we can position the goats where if we do have a goat for milk, maybe there's a place that we could take it in there to milk it. I've also realized that we really enjoy cow's milk, and I have somewhere local that I can get raw cow's milk. My sister, she's, you know, like I mentioned earlier about a cow, she will hopefully be a source for raw cow's milk for me one day, but that's just what we enjoy. So we may still have goats for milk, but the kids have also over the years expressed interest in showing goats and just having goats for pets. So it is still in the plans. We just decided the smarter thing to do would be to wait till that was done so that we can decide exactly where we want to put them. Here's a good one. How do you feel about the recent spike in hobby farmers and channels that get animals just for the show of it? Getting anything or doing anything just for the show of it, I don't agree with. Doing something, saying something just because it's what you think people want to see is not something I'm going to support. But let me say this. Anybody who truly wants to try growing their own food or having animals and taking care of those animals, anybody who wants to learn more about animal husbandry and living this lifestyle, I'm all for that. I know some people have expressed, you know, all these people starting these little homesteads and homesteading and having animals and growing food, and they don't even really know why they're doing it, or they're not going to make it because they don't know what they're doing. That's not the approach or the mindset that I have. If somebody wants to learn how to grow their own food, I'm going to cheer them on. If somebody wants to learn how to raise chickens to fill their freezer, I'm going to cheer them on. If somebody wants to learn how to care for animals, I'm going to cheer them on. But I'm not going to say that I support somebody that's doing it just for show. Anybody who truly has their heart in it, I'm going to be there cheering you on. But doing it just for show, doing anything just for show, I don't support. Is Justin still taking Mounjaro, and did the weight loss help with diabetes and the different things that, you know, he was trying to, or he was taking the medication for? So he is not taking the Mounjaro anymore. He has not taken it for several months now. As more information started to come out on side effects, there were just some things that we weren't comfortable with, and it was also extremely expensive, if we're just being honest. And so he stopped taking it. He also tried another medicine. Can't think of the name right off the top of my head, but again, there were some side effects he was experiencing that we weren't comfortable with. So now the weight loss did help to a certain extent with some of the issues he was having, but it didn't, what's the word I'm looking for? It didn't just get rid of those things altogether. So we're just, right now, he's not taking Mounjaro anymore, and we're just trying to be mindful about what we eat and how much exercise we get in and those kinds of things. How long does home canned food last? So I think the suggested or the recommended guideline is 1 year. Is that what the USDA says? Let me just tell you, I have eaten food, canned food, that was much older than a year. I would be very comfortable eating canned food that was 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. I'm not going to tell you you should, but I have definitely eaten canned food that was like 10 years old. Older than some of my kids. But I think that the recommendation is 1 year. And we do try to eat a lot of what we can within a year or two. because that's why we can it, so that we can eat it, and then when the garden is growing again, we can eat from the garden and preserve again. But I've definitely eaten food that was several years old, and it was fine. I'm not going to tell you what you should do, but I'm very comfortable eating home canned food that's 2, 3, 4 years old, and have eaten 10-year-old canned food before. Best egg layer chickens, or just chickens in general, and best place to buy chickens. So we have had so many different breeds of chickens, and I highly recommend doing your research on breeds that you are thinking about adding to your flock or building your flock with, because they all do have different personalities. Best egg layers for us have been cinnamon queens and California tans. We've also added some California whites. Those are fantastic egg layers for the size of egg and the amount of eggs that they lay. They've also been really good pets. Like, our kids can pick them up and walk around with them, and they'll come and eat out of your hand, and they've just been really, really good chickens. But I also love our Morans because they lay beautiful dark eggs. We have some Prairie Bluebell that lay beautiful eggs. Our cream leg bar lays a really pretty egg, so depending on what you're looking for. Well Summers lay beautiful speckled eggs. So what you want your egg basket to look like, how docile or friendly you want your chickens to be, definitely, you know, research the breeds. But as far as, and I think this was specifically asking about best egg layers, our cinnamon queens, our California whites, and California tans have been excellent egg layers. And we have gotten chickens from Tractor Supply. We have ordered chickens, especially our meat chickens we usually get from Hoover Hatchery. Murray McMurray is great. So those are a few suggestions if you're looking to order your chickens from a hatchery and maybe like have them sent to you. Also have just a couple more like fun questions, get to know you fun questions that I'm going to answer. But before I do that, I wanted to say thank you also to the people who, you know, as I was asking, do you have any questions? People, and just in general, like the comments you leave on videos or messages you send me over on Instagram saying, y'all tell me thank you for sharing, and for sharing our family, and for being an encouragement to you. So many of y'all have shared your personal stories with something I have said or a video I have done, how that's helped you. You've told me thank you, which seems so strange to me because I'm the one that needs to be thanking you all. But I wanted to take a moment and say thank you for those sweet messages and words of encouragement that y'all have left for me on videos and in messages and things. Y'all bless my heart. Okay, just a couple more really fun questions. What is my favorite food? Mamaw's goulash. That is just, it's one of those things that's just full of so many memories for me. It's so special to me. Definitely Mamaw's goulash. I'll link, I did a video over on my other channel for Mamaw's Kitchen that was specifically about making Mamaw's goulash. I'll link that for you. My favorite book or book series, classic Little House. I love reading those myself. I love sitting down and reading those with my kids. They're my favorite. Maybe I just feel like I relate to Ma Ingalls just in the tiniest little way I want to. What's my favorite food to grow? And this has actually changed over the last year or two. I love growing potatoes. Justin and I ourselves had not ever grown potatoes in our own garden until last year. And I was like, something I want to try. We would get potatoes. Pawpaw has grown some potatoes before, especially sweet potatoes. We had somebody we could get them from, a farmer we could get them from local. But I was like, I want to try to grow our own potatoes. And it was so fun. Planting them was fun. Watching them grow. They made these beautiful plants. They were pretty easy to care for. The harvest was so fun because it was like a surprise. And I'm getting really giddy excited thinking about harvesting our potatoes here in just a couple of weeks because we planted more potatoes this year. And we just love eating potatoes too. But, oh my goodness, I have developed this love for growing potatoes. Alright, y'all, I think I'm going to let that be it for this one. I can see I've already sat here and talked to you for like 30 plus minutes or getting close to it. So I'm going to let that be all for this one. I'm going to go and work on this video and see what it looks like. I noticed the lighting changing a little bit here and there. I mean, I'm sitting on a porch and the sun's starting to set over in front of me, and then filming on Justin's phone, which I'm not used to doing, but I'm gonna go work on this video so I can get it ready for you. I hope y'all enjoyed hanging out with me today. I sure enjoyed hanging out with you. I love you. I appreciate you. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all. I got a chicken that's out. I don't know how she got out. I just saw her walking by the edge of the garden, and she's supposed to be in the run right now. I gotta go figure out how she got out.